whatever.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
I am SimpleSimon. I'm your comic book noob.
SimpleSimon.
Welcome to the NOOB Rebirth. Say hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Today, we're going to take a look back and talk about some of our favorite animated movies and shows from back in the day.
Back in the day?
Back in the day for him.
What day would that be?
It was like the 30s for this guy.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Man, why do you hurt me so much? Why do you hurt me?
Anyway, let's take a trip down memory lane.
Trip and trip and trip and trip.
There used to be this animated movie that I really used to love, and I could never remember what it was called. We'll see if you know. So I remember things like, there was one called Fire and Ice.
Yeah, I remember that one,
Yeah, so my dad got me onto that. I really would like to watch that again. There was like the heavy metal one, which I didn't really watch as a kid. I didn't really watch heavy metal.
I never really. I know what it was out.
But there was another one that I was just like, I only found out what it was called last night. I was for months I've been like just thinking about this cartoon, animated movie, sorry. It was almost Star Wars-esque. Can you remember anything from the 80s that might have been?
He-Man?
No, not quite. Last night I finally was like, wait, it was a sci-fi. So I just Googled, because I've been Googling like 80s animated movies and that didn't help. And then last night I typed in 80s animated sci-fi movie. And I found it. It was called Star Chaser.
Never heard of it.
Oh man! I was hoping you'd be like, yes, I remember that, it was so awesome.
Never heard of it. But I'm sure I will go and chase it.
It was like, so I looked up the trailer this morning and it was just like, because I used to watch it like just non-stop when I was a kid. And I remember one of the people in the comments was like, it was like a cross between Star Wars, Temple of Doom, and heavy metal.
Okay.
That's a pretty good mix. You can actually watch the entire thing.
Is it a movie or a series?
It's a movie.
It's a movie, okay.
About an hour and 40 minutes. It's on
Okay.
YouTube. The full thing. What did you watch it, mate?
Star Blazers here in Australia it was called. In Japan it was called Space Battleship Yamato. It's from the 70s.
Are you rewatching it?
Yeah. It was shot. It was used to come on our ABC network when I was a kid here in Australia.
Australia.
And it was reworked for America called Star Blazers because Americans did that a lot. They would buy the Japanese animated TV shows or movies and then rework them with their own voices and names and make it more Americanized. And I'm watching the first season and I never seen anything else, but I never knew there was anything else. And then later down the years, I found out there was more seasons. So I'm watching the other seasons now. You know, it's really good, and it's surprisingly how much drama that show has for a 70s show. And also, what are you doing looking at the phone?
I'm looking it up.
You're looking it up.
Yeah, just like to see if I remember. I do not remember this.
It's similar, and it's the same as goes with another cartoon series that was in Japan. It was called Gatchaman, Science Ninja Team. And then America bought it and they called it Battle of the Planets.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Battle of the Planets I definitely know.
Yeah, so...
hang on, wait. That wasn't called that in Japan?
No.
What was it called, sorry?
It's called Gatchaman.
Okay. Gotchaman.
No.
Okay. A lot of people actually like, I know our buddy Jamie, Think Geek Theory, he's a big fan of Battle of the Planets.
Yeah, oh man, but the difference between Star Blazers and Gatchaman when it was converted to, when it was Americanized, I suppose, is that Star Blaze, they didn't really change much except probably for the theme song, which was really catchy, and they didn't really change much, the voices and stuff like that, and the names and all that, probably, of course. Whereas with Battle of the Planets, because it was very violent, the Japanese version was very violent, so they had to cut a lot of stuff out, and they had to fill in all this time, so they added like this R2-D2 type robot in there, and it was pretty hokey, and as a kid you loved it, but when you watch it back as an adult, it was very awful and very cringeworthy. But whereas Battle of the Planets, I'm watching it as an adult and I'm loving it. The animation obviously is full of time, but it still holds up the story. I'm just saying, it's just it's so dramatized. It's very good.
Well, that's one thing I remember about Star Blazer. Actually, as a kid, I didn't realize this. But now that I think back to it, and obviously rewatching the trailer this morning, it was very adult. This animated
What was it
movie.
called?
It's called Star Chaser: The Legend of
Because you called it
Orin.
Star Blazer.
Do you? What other animated stuff you into, mate? I used to watch Robotech when I was a kid.
No, I wasn't into Robotech a lot.
I had one tape,
afterwards.
and I watched it over and over.
Yeah, afterwards I was into it. I've got all the discs, like the Macross Saga
really?
and all that, yeah.
I just had this one VHS tape when I was a kid, and I used to love it. I used to watch it over and over because as a kid, you just watch the same things over and over.
He-Man, like, of course.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe, of course I was into that.
Big time into that.
You know, a lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff as well. Like, anyone remember the Herculoids? Do you remember the Herculoids?
I'd have to.
Space Ghost and Birdman.
See, my problem is...
I was a bit massive Herculoids. I loved it. I loved the Herculoids. But yeah, I absolutely... that's what sort of cartoons I loved as a kid.
Herculoids, I don't remember that. I remember things like Dino Riders. Have you gone to Dino Riders?
Transformers, of course.
Yeah, Transformers.
Then there was the Machine Men.
Yes, no one talks about the Machine Men.
Yeah, I love the Machine Men.
Yeah.
I've actually got the Jet, who was their leader.
I had the big base
The action
thing.
figure.
It was like a big base
Oh,
thing. You
yeah,
could open them up and put them inside and things like that. Mask?
I never got into Masks. G.I. Joe I got into a little bit.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of G.I. Joe. Like, I remember... See, my problem is my memory's so bad from back then. So I remember loving these things, but I don't really... I don't really remember much about them. Because I used to watch G.I. Joe and then something came out which... I just dropped G.I. Joe altogether. There was the Rambo animated series. Did you ever watch that?
Nah.
So the funniest thing was, when I first got the Rambo animated series, it was the Chinese version.
Oh,
so
really?
literally it was in Chinese.
Oh, wow. I remember watching the Conan cartoon series. That was...
Conan? I can't remember
Yeah,
that
there was
either.
a Conan cartoon. It was very watered down for a Conan. For Conan. Very, very, very,
was that?
very, very, very watered down.
Was that 80s?
I think so. Yeah.
What about Ghostbusters? Did you watch the Ghostbusters?
Yes, I've got the card. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That looks terrible.
Yeah. Conan the Adventurer. Yeah, Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters.
There's new Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters one. The real Ghostbusters.
Was the movie one, right?
Yeah, so they had the different colour jumpsuits.
And then
The real
there was
Ghostbusters.
the other one, which was just like, it was almost like Scooby-Doo Ghostbusters.
Yeah, no, not that one.
I used to watch them both.
Yeah, I bought the action figures for the real Ghostbusters, and I stupidly, when you bought the action figures, they had the streams of the thing sticking out. I cut them off.
Yeah, because they were annoying. When
They were annoying.
Yeah.
I still got them. They used to do so many cartoon series back then.
Thundercats.
Thundercats was awesome as well. Then they did a 2011 series as well. I think
really?
it was 2011. They rebooted the series, and the animation was fantastic. It was so good. I'm pretty sure it was 2011, off the top of my head, and that was really good. The stories were better. The more adult-orientated stories. It was like when they did the reboot of He-Man in 2005.
Yeah, but I don't think I like the look of that one.
Oh, I love it.
Really?
It was so good. The stories were fantastic. They had 2 seasons, and then at the end of that season, they teased Hordak, and they never really went forward with a 3rd season.
Did you get into like Ninja Turtles when that was around?
Yeah, of course, loved Ninja Turtles, but I didn't really deeply get into it. I never bought any of the action figures or anything, but I did enjoy, you know, the watching it. But I never bought any of the figures. Usually, if I'm really into something, I'll go out and get the action figures. You know, whereas, you know, like I was really into Space Ghost and Herculoids, like I said,
So
but
Space
you
Ghost-
could
did
never find action figures.
Did Space Ghost? Because I know Space Ghost isn't that? I thought Space Ghost was a like an Adult Swim one.
Yeah, it was, but that was Space Ghost Coast to
Is that a
Coast.
reboot or something?
Yeah, it was just a piss take. Same with
Because it looked like an old
Yeah,
cartoon.
same with Birdman Attorney at Law. That's just a piss
Yeah,
take
okay.
of the original Birdman. You know, that was awesome. But no action figures as a kid. You know, whereas, you know, obviously Star Blazers and Battle of the Planets, they never had any action figures. My dad used to make me the Phoenix from Battle of the Planets out of wood. He used to paint it up for me.
There's Battle of the Planets figures.
Now there is, but back then I used to blow it up in pieces, and Dad used to remake it for me.
What else, man? Like, I guess, I mean, when
Batman animated series, of course.
yeah. So that's the funny thing, man. Like, I definitely went through a phase as I got a little bit into my late teens where
Respect
I
to
was
Kevin Conroy,
Oh yeah, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy.
best voice of Batman.
I definitely got to a point in my late teens where I kind of was too cool for school. Like, I always Well, yeah, I want to party. I guess, I never thought that stuff was lame or anything like that, to be into comic books or Batman. I just kind of was like, grew out of it a little bit. I never thought that I'd kind of get back into it. So that's why I remember when the Batman animated series was on, it used to be on after school and stuff, but I used to always miss it, I think. I think it was on at like 3:30 and you would finish school at 3:30. So by the time I got home, I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't catch it.
Here in Australia, they used to play on Saturday morning, Warner Brothers Kids. And yeah, felt that was such a great TV show, so comic book related, you know. Like I remember those episodes with the introduction of Ra's al Ghul, and it was just straight out of a comic book. It was very, very good, and that had so many great episodes. So
what I want to know is, I want to rewatch like classic episodes. Like I know there's the Mr. Freeze episode which won awards and stuff.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
movies are great.
Mad Love, I'd like to watch that with Harley Quinn.
The movies are great as well. Like
I have watched the animated series,
the movies.
What's it called, the Mask of
Phantasm.
Yeah,
the movies are good. Like the movies that they did in between seasons and stuff are fantastic. And you know they did the Justice League series, the Superman series, and
Teen Titans Go.
Okay, Teen Titans Go.
Well, there was Teen Titans first, which everyone said was really good, the original Teen Titans. And then they've changed it,
reworked it,
rebooted the Teen Titans Go, which I think is really funny. And I think it's actually the same voice actors too.
Probably.
But the other one apparently was like a real, like almost like a teen drama sort of show, which apparently everyone says is really good. I've got that as well downloaded, but I watched a couple of episodes. I was like,
I didn't bother.
Yeah.
No.
Too old, too cool for school.
Too cool for school. Shows like you know, He-Man set the standard, and same with Transformers, where if you have a cartoon series or you have a toy line, hit them with a cartoon series, and people will go out looking for that action figure.
Man, like I remember.
You know, so it just those shows just set the standard for that type of marketing or type of promotion.
I remember the Transformers movie when they came out, the animated movie, and my brother's taking me to that, and just Optimus Prime dying. Oh, spoiler alert.
From 1987 or 6 or something. Oh, right.
But that movie, so when that came out,
worst mistake they ever made.
When that finally came out on like DVD, Blu-ray, I bought it and rewatched it. I was like, man, that movie holds up, man. It's still so good.
It's true. It holds
fantastic. Up. One of the best soundtracks as well.
That's true too.
So my only memory of the actual TV series though is after the movie of Transformers, the show continued from the movie.
Yeah,
so Optimus was dead. Rodimus was like leading them and stuff like that. And I remember one specific story arc where there was a virus infecting all the Transformers and the Decepticons, and it was turning them bad.
They're all Transformers.
Autobots. Sorry. I remember there was this virus taking over, making Autobots and Decepticons bad. So even the Decepticons are already bad, they were making them bad too. And it was infecting them all. So to fix this, the Autobots rebuilt Optimus Prime, and that's when Prime came back. That's the only memory I have, and I never got to see it further than that because it was hard to watch cartoons back in the day because a lot of them would be on in the morning, so you can watch a little bit of it, and then your parents take you to school, so you miss it. So we can talk about Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah, I remember the X-Men were awesome as well. That was that X-Men cartoon put X-Men on the map. It just made everyone aware of there are these heroes that are mutants, you know, to a next generation. They just introduced them to a next generation, you know, myself and stuff like that. It made, you know, sales go up highly in the comic books, and you know, it was very, very good. Even and you know, after saying that with the Batman, how the animation and the stories were straight out of a comic book, X-Men did the same thing. The Genoshan storyline, the Apocalypse storylines, they were all straight out of Chris Claremont's series, so fantastic.
Yeah, I remember the Spider-Man animated series. There wasn't that many episodes, but it was one of the best things I'd seen at the time. It was like,
it was crazy. I remember I'd get up 6 in the morning, watch Thunderbirds, and then after that I'd switch it over to another channel to watch Spider-Man.
So good. Those are the days back in Australia.
Australia.
All right, that's all we got for you guys today. A little bit of a trip down memory lane.
Memory lane.
That was a good one.
Trip. down memory lane.
Let us know in the comments what were some of your shows that you watched when you were growing up, or some of your memories from some of the shows we talked about.
Yeah.
You know, we can talk all day about that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, going back. But again, I wish my memory was better than it is.
Too many of this.
Get out of here. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on the way out, and again, leave a comment, and make sure you guys leave a hashtag. Hi Mark and bye Mark.
Bye Mark.
And until next time, keep it simple. I think, do I look weird in like a plain black? I feel like I look weird because I'm so used to like having something on here and representing something. This is just weird. I feel like I'm just like a black hole. People get offended when you call an animated movie a cartoon. Like one time.
Cartoon! That's it. There you go. Three years of therapy right there.
You know, do that sometimes. Treat
Oh,
yourself.
mate, I destroyed the porcelain this morning, mate.
All right.
Porcelain destroyer.